COVID, was it 19, and PAGS, capital P, capital A, capital G, Protective Action Guidelines. And now, if you go back through my video list, you'll find a few that have that acronym, that title, PAGS, Protective Action Guidelines. I've reviewed the United States Federal Protective Action Guidelines for a radiological event. That is part of a whole set of these federal documents that help say what to do in case of a national disaster. So understanding that, that's how it works, that's how it's supposed to work, so that everyone's on the same page and understands what's next, what to do, what we can do, and what maybe we shouldn't do. Those protective action guidelines are entry points into massive federal systems and assets and resources and private institutions and assets and resources and funding and dollars. At the top of those protective action guidelines are the signatures required to turn them on. These signatures are called the stakeholders. These are 1 to 5 to a dozen individuals that sit around a smoke-filled room and decide to turn on a billion-dollar key. That's the level that these protective action guidelines operate at. And then they delve down into the specifics and the details and the best practices we know for dealing with specific types of emergencies. Chemical, biological, nuclear weapons are a part of this. Not as weapons, as artifacts of life, is a part of the liability of the chemical plants down the street, the chemical plants on another continent, because of atmospheric rivers and flows and ebbs and tides. So there you go. Protective action guidelines. I have not reviewed which of those guidelines would be fallen into. These are federal records, easily found. If you want to do some homework on what should reasonably flow, remember they're guidelines. These are the best practices from how many decades, how many generations are living now. Cut us some slack and have confidence in something.